Hey guys, so I went to BBC's Question Time and I'm going to try to explain to you how that experience was like. So, firstly, I'd like to say a big shout out to Josh Smith. I wouldn't have really gone if it wasn't because of him. He helped me out. He's been there before, so explained the procedure. Those of you that don't know, BBC Question Time is a political program in which they talk about current issues and political events that are happening, and they have at least one member of the three major political parties, and they get to interact with the audience and they receive questions and stuff. I will post a little clip of me asking the question, but I'm not going to ask the full 3 minutes from when I asked my first question to when I asked my second question, because then BBC could probably copyright my video. So I'm just going to include a little snippet here, and I will post a separate video with the full 3 minutes, and hopefully it doesn't get taken down. But we'll see. Also, if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, that would be very much appreciated. So going right from the beginning, the application process was actually quite simple. You just go to the website and you tell them some details about yourself. And I did the first one in the season. So after applying a while ago, I don't really hear back from them for quite a long time really. It was about 2 or 3 months since I last heard from them, and when they did contact me, it was very, very quick. They asked me if I either wanted to do the Channel 4 debate or if I wanted to do the BBC Question Time. Did you notice the calculator in the corner so I could balance my phone? Yeah, you got to be sharp with your eyes. Can't miss that. But I don't need it anymore. Anyway, so what the lady has suggested to me was that I did the Channel 4 one because it would finish early, and since I live like 3 hours away from London, she recommended that to me because she thought that if it finished too late at night, then maybe it would be difficult for me to come back here, or I'd have to stay in a hotel or something. So she thought that it would be best if I went to the Channel 4 one. But I was more inclined to go to the BBC one because of I was much more familiar with that programme. I'd watched quite a few of them, and it's just something that I wanted to be part of really, and I just, my friends had recommended for me to go to the Question Time, not the Channel 4 debate. So I asked her, I was just like, thank you very much, I appreciate you getting back to me. Is there any kind of way that you would have a space available for the BBC one? And she was like, yeah, of course, we have spaces, but I'm just concerned that you live far away. And I just told her, I'll be like, well, okay, I'll try to arrange a hotel near there or something like that. But, I would like to take that one if possible. So, yeah, that's what I went ahead and did. Bearing in mind, after you got called back after your application, they asked you some more, I don't want to say personal questions, but some more political questions, if you will. They asked you, I don't know if they asked your religion, but I know that they asked, obviously, about the stance on Brexit, because the Question Time itself was about Brexit. So I think they said that they wanted to have it even, pretty much 50-50. So I explained to them my stance on it, and I explained to them, political party that you support, I think they asked, I don't know if they asked for your ideology, or just things along that line, really, which is just, I think to make sure they have a nice balanced audience. They asked age, because they probably wanted to get a good balance between younger people and older people and, middle-aged people. So there was that process as well. But obviously, as soon as I had confirmed it, I was very, very happy because I didn't think that it was as simple as it would be. I'm not sure, I think pretty much anyone that wanted to go to it could go at some point, but that's not what I really thought at the time. For me, it was just a massive opportunity to just be there amongst the political centre, if you will, having the people from the major political parties just there. So I thought that it was a very interesting opportunity and something that I was very happy to be taking, really. It was in central London, I believe. I'm not too familiar with the location, but it was a Scottish something. It was more of like an older building, but it was still, they still had it set up for the show. So, we got there quite early because I like to make sure that I get to places early. So, if there's any delays or something, I won't miss it. So I got to London, and once I got into London, because I had some time to kill, I stayed in the hotel a little bit, and then I went to a local restaurant, which, by the way, was amazing. Had some delicious food. But anyway, that's not what you guys are here for. It's called Regency Cafe. So if you go down there, trust me, eat the food. It's so good. And actually for a very good price. Not a sponsor. And after, going to the hotel, staying there for a bit, getting some food and just going around some places, it finally started. We went in there. There was a small queue outside. We had to show our passports and that kind of stuff to just confirm that it was us. We went to the room upstairs and we got given 2 questions to ask. It was a minimum of 1 and a maximum of 2. So I wrote down 2 questions and other people did as well. And we would be told if they were picked. And there was a lot of people. We were sitting down in a really nice place. They offered hot drinks and stuff. and I got to know some people there, to just make some friends, because I didn't really go with anyone. And after a while of waiting, the presenter, I think her name was Fiona Bruce, I'm pretty sure it is, she came in there and she explained to us the situation, how it was much earlier than expected, and how people were told quite short notice about the program, which is true. It was, I believe, a week before the program, and the Channel 4 one was even earlier, so I would have essentially had like 3 days if I would have gone to the Channel 4 one. But she explained that to us, she talked to us about it, and she just basically, I don't want to say briefed us, but she let us know of what was going on. And then good, we all made our way down. Oh, and by the way, I asked to sit at the front because if I'm going to be on TV, I want my family to see me. I want my mum to see me. I'm not going to really miss the opportunity. So as we went down, I sat at the front as well, next to this this friend that I made. But unfortunately, the cameraman was right in front of me. I thought when we were doing the testing bit, he was right in front of me, and I thought that maybe that's just going to go away, but I guess it didn't. So unlucky. They had the sound check and everything. They got some people in the audience to go in there and do the sound check. Just some people that volunteered to go up there and, essentially be in the panel and have the microphones tested on them. So after the sound check was done, the questions had been picked, and the questions that were picked were actually read out. Now, with my luck, I wasn't really expecting for my question to get picked, because I'm just not usually very lucky in these situations. So I had my hopes right all the way down. Surprisingly enough, I was one of the very last names to have been read out, but it got read out anyway, so I was very surprised about that. It took us outside of the main kind of studio bit. They got us to sign a paper saying that we basically consented to be on TV, and our questions were handed to us. I don't really know which one of my 2 questions were going to get picked, but I knew that one was a bit more short, a bit more snappy, provocative, so, I guess I'm not too surprised that they went for that one. So we got in there, we sat down, the presenter came in, and then obviously the politicians started coming in. We got Anna Soubry, Kwasi from the Conservatives, we had Richard from the Brexit Party, whoever else, I'm not going to remember all of them. But anyway, they came in, we started getting ready to basically just, get on with it. But before the program actually started, and this is what I actually think is the most interesting part, we had kind of a sound check when they were actually in there, and that part, we weren't talking about Brexit, but we were actually talking about the legalization of marijuana in the UK. And that was actually so interesting and so informative, and to see the different stances, to see how people maybe change their mind. I remember Anna Soubry, I remember her saying like she was for it, but after having seen some people just doing it way too much, she changed her mind. And obviously the Liberal Democrats were essentially the only one in there that were like, legalize it, blah, 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 blah. So it was interesting to get some perspective on that and to see their different takes. And it was something that no one there was too passionate about. At the end of the day, everyone there was kind of more laid back about it. It was just kind of like more of a personal belief. So that was, in my opinion, the best part. And that's the part that didn't make it into the TV, unfortunately, because at that point it was just sound checking. And then when we got to the actual program, as soon as it started, there was conflict, if you will. People were shouting, people were talking over one another. It got to the point in the audience at some stages, which I was wondering if the presenter was just gonna basically tell people to just calm down, to take a pause for a couple of seconds, because it was getting so out of hand. People were talking over each other. It's such an issue which is quite divisive, and people, unlike marijuana, people are so passionate about this, about the Brexit talk. I'm not. I don't really care about it too much. Well, I do care about it, but I'm more in the middle, whatever, I understand both sides, so I don't really care about it too much. But then those people, some of them, like the Brexit MEP, his political party is called the Brexit Party. You don't get much more into Brexit than naming your own political party the Brexit Party, unless you were called the Remain Party. But anyway, actually people were getting very passionate about it, and at that point I just felt maybe the first debate should have been aired. The first talks where people were talking about their personal experiences and stuff like that and giving their opinions. I feel like that one would have been much more productive to have been aired, but obviously people weren't really recording that. But anyway, the cameraman still stayed right in front of me. I couldn't really see. I had to kind of sometimes just like swerve around him. That's why if you see the clip of me actually making my question, I'm literally like going like this. I got my hand, as soon as the lady says my name, I'm like all the way over here. But anyway, I'll get to that in a second. So before my question got picked, I did this kind of thing, which I realized that the program was going to be an hour long. So if my question didn't get picked within 40 minutes, I was going to put my hand up and ask another question, because I knew that I had some kind of insight which could have been interesting to have talked about anyway, because as I said, I'm not passionate about either side. So it would have definitely been something which, you know, would have been different from the normal public that was there and the actual panel itself. So it got to around 40 minutes. I put my hand up, but that guy was in front of me, as I said, so I had to kind of, you know, swerve and stuff like that. And I was just waiting for my question to hopefully get picked. And the difference between your question getting picked that you've put in and you having your hand up and the presenter going to you is that the presenter knows your name, the presenter has specifically picked out your question, and the presenter will probably be able to give some kind of explanation to it afterwards, like obviously, you know, just kind of going through it again and explaining it to people. She'll just have some context on it. It won't be something so surprising. So that was the advantage that I had. But I didn't think that one was going to get picked, because mind you, there was about 7 people that got picked to read something out, and only about 3 or 4 of them actually got to read theirs out. Because people, as I said, people were so passionate about it. People just kept on going and going, and they wouldn't stop. So I was quite lucky. And instead of my hand up being picked, I was picked by my question, because she essentially said, and I'll play the video right now.
Well, hang on, Lily, I've come to your road. So if you don't mind, I just want to go back to the audience once more. And I think it's a particularly pertinent question, given the way things have been this evening. Gabrielle Beraldi.
So there was obviously some context to the question which she knew about. And my question was, has the idea of compromise on Brexit basically died in Parliament? I mean, looking at the panel right here, it definitely seems like that.
Yeah.
I look a little bit upset there at the end, but I'm really not upset, you know. I'm chilled about it, I'm fine, you know, whatever. And yeah, the Brexit MEP responded to my question. He thought that by compromise I meant cancelling Brexit, which is not what I meant at all. So, you know, he kind of misjudged what I said there, but, you know, whatever.
We voted to leave. It's not a compromise when you have a referendum like that.
But yeah, and then by the time we had finished, it was basically midnight. You know, I walked back to the hotel, and, you know, I checked Twitter for some of the highlights and stuff like that, you know. I had a brief scan through it before going to sleep, and, you know, I went to sleep and I woke up the next day, and, you know, it was good. It was a very good experience, because you get to be right in the centre of politics, as I said. It was interesting to see that if you actually look up #BBCQT or whatever, the videos which get shared the most out of people talking are people that are very much for one side or for the other side. The 2 videos that got seen the most is out of this lady, which was calling people in Parliament stupid or something, saying, you know, Brexit needs to be done, people vote for it, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, she was shouting during the thing. She was clearly very passionate about it, you know. And I saw the opposite of that. There was another person who was very passionately Remain. So those are usually the people that get the video taken of them. You know, they will usually add subtitles or something, and it'll be posted into either pro-Brexit or pro-Remain pages. So I knew that with my comment, I thought that I was going to basically piss off everyone for being right in the middle, because there's basically almost nobody that's in the same position as I am. But yeah, I mean, that was my experience, you know. It was a very good experience. I'm very glad that I did it. Would I do it again? Yes, I would do it again. But I think you can only go there once anyway. So, you know, maybe that would have to be the Channel 4 debate. Who knows? I'll include a link in the description to the video from when I first asked the question up until when I asked my other question. So thank you guys very much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe. That means a lot to me, and it really helps out the channel. So thank you. Take care and bye.